I'm staying in character for a reason, okay? I want to make a point about denial and unbelief, how they're actually very coinciding and one and the same. Jesus did not like unbelief, right? He had to leave and he couldn't do any miracles because nobody believed that he could possibly do them. And gosh, that's kind of the way we live in this society right now. It shouldn't be, however, how we live inside of ourselves. And in fact, if you find yourself as a trauma survivor going to church or church groups for deep inner healing, it could set you up for further frustration because the church is not where you will find the liberation that you need from childhood trauma. Recovery is a process for those that are willing to do the hard work because it's never ending. It essentially is sanctification. And so when we have these blissful, happy people that they're just like, oh, just trust Jesus and focus on the Lord and the devil will flee. And they have all these wonderful 12-step programs and all these bullet points. And then they have these wonderful PowerPoint presentations. And they tell you all the myriad of ways that you are doing it wrong because you just don't have faith. Yeah, you get to like flatline and say, maybe I need something more. And the answer is you do. We all do. We all need the more. The more is applying our faith to every single part inside of us that might not believe that Jesus is enough right now. Yep, that means having a come into Jesus moment, people. That means, wow, I'm not only angry, I'm highly frustrated to the point where my blood is boiling. I might actually erupt like a volcano and I'm going to explode and appear as the Hulk on the scene. Those are wonderful, valid points of escalation that can happen within many of us. But in fact, some of the most angry people, even those people that have been delivered of the spirit of anger that I personally have worked with, they approach life through a very, everything is fine, blissful, I'm great, I am blessed and highly favored approach. And that is extreme energy and work for all the parts inside of them that are actually raging. They want an outlet. They want to be seen authentically. They want to be known richly and deeply because the two things that we need in this world is love and acceptance. Jesus gave them to us in abundance, but we lose them along the way. So when we come into somebody's presence as a trauma survivor, I am one of them, and I ask them how they're doing, I can get a read pretty quickly as to if I'm going to let that person into my circle, my deep understanding place where Angie has friends. And this is who I'm going to make sure does not get very close to my heart and that I put up guards to that heart because they might not get me on their best day. And that would be somebody that's like, everybody's a victim. They're a victim. Well, I went through something hard too. And you know what? They're still a victim. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. You don't want to put up with somebody that's like, come on, get serious. That's not true. You're lying. Yeah. Walk away quickly. You also don't want to be like, sweetie, all you have to do is apply scripture like a Band-Aid. Right, because a Band-Aid is like covering a bullet hole when it comes to big problems like trauma and childhood sexual abuse. Okay, you cannot educate these people or elevate them to the level that you have suffered and overcome and spent in your prayer closet with all of your parts, because if they are happy denying, if they are happy being servanthood at church and that's where they find their identity, if they're happy just going along with, I'm not really concerned about that because it's easier for me just to pick up and keep moving forward. Okay, that's fine. Bless them. But they are not to be people that trauma survivors take into their closest relationships, because it actually could re-traumatize you. It actually could make you sicker. It actually could be, well, I guess I'm not having enough faith. I guess I'm not praying enough. I guess I'm not fasting enough. Boy, if I had one little episode just on those women of us that prayed and fasted for our marriages because the church told us to. Yeah, you want to start to think on a frequency, on a level of heaven. You want to start asking the tough questions. Does this person always have to put on a facade that everything is fine, even after their 4-year-old died in a car crash? I mean, I just simply would be crying a river and I'd be letting everybody know it. And I wouldn't be complaining either. I would be justified because with everything, I'd be taking it to the Lord in the first place. So parts of us that need to erupt and express, they are allowed to when you take it directly to the Lord in the first place, because only there are you going to get true understanding.